Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Lechtech Musar podcast. We continue with the Pele Yoeitz. We're on page 284 in the art scroll. We are on day 112 of Hachzik. We're finishing up the Indian of Bechia. We're talking about mourning. We're gonna just go this a little quicker. V'gama achem achayis. We were talking about mourning yesterday. V'gama achem achayis. Right, lahem livkois u'lesalba kitukan chachmayim zechanim levracha. Brothers and sisters, they have to mourn over the loss. They must take into heart that if they were completely free of guilt, that this terrible calamity would never have befall them. It says in the pasuk, that Hashem is not like a regular flesh and blood king. In chasim aleim al tzarim al nefesh achitim hin tamos avakadosh baruch hu einikin el mitzar adam chinam. A king, he has to met a punishment, and it doesn't really make a difference who, what, where, excuses. But Hashem, He's a merciful, and He will never cause a person suffering without cause. It's amazing. This is Torah. This is straight from this Hakadosh Baruch Hu. You never be mitzar a yid without any cause. So that means you think back to the pogroms of the Holocaust and Tsaris and October 7th. It's all somehow midas harachamim. There's always rachamim, and Hashem doesn't give a morsel of extra pain without cause. Ela ein adam meis ad shehu chayev v'avimay chavim b'chdei hatzar shetztaru v'ishte b'chdei hatzar shetztaru v'achiv v'achiyos v'krev midoi b'chdei hatzar shetztaru. So he's saying that everyone that's involved, it's a package. V'az Hashem meimis as chayev misa v'neitak alecha that shaloi kefi aroyle b'midas mishkol v'mashura, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will then take care, bring out justice, and if a person has to pass on, then Hashem will do that. But that's all with HaKadosh Baruch Hu taking into consideration and calculation everything and everyone, and the amount of tzar, and Hashem doesn't give any the most minute, minuscule extra amount. Hashem wants only the best for everyone. And therefore, if taka, such a calamity, a tragedy happens, then obviously it's what Hashem felt. It's not what Hashem felt is right. It is right. It's kulei toiv, and a person has to realize what there was no mishap, there was no mistake, there was no misjudgment. This is all from the Eibishter, and it's serious, and a person has to take it seriously. And that's why, as we're talking about in the context over here of crying, that a person has to really cry and realize it's a kaparas avaynos. Rachman tzalna aleinu. Bafil azaken mufak roy livkois l'saba olav, and even a person who's extremely elderly and they say, Baruch Hashem lived a very long, fruitful, happy, joyful life. One has to still mourn and cry. No one should say that he lived A to Z, went through all the stops, and he was such a great role model and Tamachacham and a tzaddik. So what's there to be sad about? Why? Very interesting that a person has to think, the family members, those that have to be misabel in him, they have to realize that as much as he lived a long life, we see over here the erech, we see over here the value of every single second. That the reason why a family has to mourn over someone who lived till 120, why do you have to mourn over him? He did it because it could be there's a few more seconds that he could have chapped around. This is tremendously sadistic. And aside from the fact that his death brings suffering in Shemayim, and there's a tzar in Shemayim when someone dies. The koshkedim mu adam b'kasher sheishlit l'shemis kodim zmanav ba'oidei hadar v'gadas ha'shemayim sheshchinim mitzdas amisus ha'shavashayim kol shekedim mitzasin shal tzadikim. The Gemara Chagigah says that the Shechina, the Rebbeinu Shalom Kaviyach himself, is pained over the passing of the wicked. Kol shekein, says Gemara, amisasin shal tzadikim, certainly by the passing of righteous, all the more so is Hashem pained over their departure from this world. When a upstanding righteous person is lost from this world, then who's going to fill that void for Kadosh Baruch Hu and bring Hashem the nachas ruach that this person would bring him? All these are examples of where any living person must make a point to eulogize calamity and weep over it with a tangible sorrow. And one must never offer empty tears of futility by mocking the sacred opportunity of being misable over the Shekhinah that's in pain, and the what the Torah mandates, that we should be sad of a person, a Yid that died, and Hashem is in pain, Hashem is crying. The Pele Yoeitz concludes this chapter with quoting the pasuk from Yeshaya, "May Hashem erase the tears from all faces. He will attain gladness and joy, and sadness and sighing will flee, and there will be widespread relief from our trials."